Hi, this is Kirk with Wellspring Landscape Services, and I was just about to leave a client's house, and I thought, man, this would be a great time to do a video on pruning oaks. So here we are, obviously standing next to my truck here, oak trees behind me, and so I want to talk about oak tree pruning for a second. So if you're new to Austin, you may not know that we are very passionate about our trees, and there are a lot of rules and regulations in place to protect those trees, and but one of those is when can you prune your oak trees. So the city of Austin, city of Westlake, Lakeway, the county in general, there are sometimes very strict guidelines, but very definite guidelines on when and how to prune. So best time to prune is December and into January is a great time to prune. You can also prune in the heat of the summer. So really it's kind of July on through January. Some specific neighborhoods may have additional restrictions, so you need to check where you live, but that's a good guideline. So anytime after the end of January, it is highly, highly recommended that you do not prune your oak trees unless they are damaging the house, your roof, they've been damaged in a storm and you need to clean them up. Things like that is okay. Or obviously if you're building a house, new construction, things like that. But generally speaking, if you're going to come out and you're going to prune up your oaks, remove the deadwood, things like that, and do a general cleanup of them, you need to do that between July and into January. So now is a great time to do it. It's a couple of reasons why I'll go through real quick. The main reasons: one is oak wilt. So oak wilt is a disease that affects especially red oaks and live oaks. These are live oaks behind me. And once it gets a tree gets oak wilt, it's very difficult to keep it alive. So there's a lot of preventative care that's needed. We can talk about that later. But as far as pruning is concerned, there is a beetle that is attracted to the fresh wounds on a tree. That's why it's important that you paint the wounds. And that beetle will go from tree to tree to tree and spread oak wilt. Well, that beetle is not around during the recommended time for pruning. So the spread of oak wilt is lessened at that time. So obviously I mentioned spraying the wounds with a tree wound sealant. That's super important. Another reason to do it during that time frame is when the oaks drop their leaves towards the end of February, they kind of drop their leaves and then they will have leaves again. But depending on the species of oak, they may drop their leaves in the fall, like a normal deciduous tree. And once they drop, it's very hard to determine what the live wood is from the dead wood. So if you go ahead and prune them up while they still have leaves, that's very easy to tell where the dead wood is. So that's another reason to prune them during this time frame. And another is, and it's not really a big deal here in Central Texas, but if we were to get the occasional ice event, ice storm, then if your trees have been pruned up properly, the weight of that ice does a lot less damage to the trees. So again, that's not a huge consideration, but it is something, kind of a textbook thing to think about. So pruning, the timing of the pruning of your trees is super important. So now is a great time to do it. If you have trees close to your house, starting to rub against your house, your eaves, damaging your roof, really need to take care of those and get those pruned immediately, no matter what the time of year. But January is a great time to prune your trees. So if you have any questions, give us a call at the office. If not, we'll see you next time. Bye.